Hi, with the impending IPOs of SpaceX, Anthropic, and OpenAI, I want to discuss what a prospectus is. The SpaceX prospectus is available now. The OpenAI as well as Anthropic ones are confidentially filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission. I will go over what a prospectus is, as well as things that are relevant with respect to founders. A prospectus is a disclosure document used when a company offers securities, generally stocks, bonds as well, to investors. It's a very lengthy document, and its main purpose is to help investors make an informed decision by explaining what the company does, how it makes money, its financial condition, risk factors that the business faces, how the company plans to use the money it raises, information about management and ownership, and details of the securities being offered. Think of it as the company's tell investors everything important document. For example, when a company goes public through an IPO, initial public offering, it files a prospectus with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Investors can review it before deciding whether to buy shares. Why it matters? It matters because the prospectus serves three key functions. One, disclosure. It provides material information about the company. That's the big reason that the prospectus is put into place. The Securities and Exchange Commission's purpose is to protect investors, and by requiring companies to file documents such as this, it provides investors with a fulsome picture of what they are investing in to try to avoid any fraud or omissions by a company. And side note on this, it takes a lot of time for attorneys and business people to put this document together. It's very grueling. There is a desire to include every single risk so that you can avoid any repercussions later on for not disclosing a risk. But then you also want to balance that with being able to sell your equities. It also serves a secondary function, investor protection. It helps investors understand risks before they invest. But the problem here, just my personal opinion, is that a lot of investors don't actually read them because they are just so lengthy. And I will admit that I too do that when I own personal stocks. I don't generally read it because it's just too dense. And I will just focus on the main points that I have decided over my years of what is relevant and what I need to read. However, with the advent of AI, I think this will make it a lot easier, and I think more investors actually should throw it through AI, read a summary before they invest. But that's just good practice there. The third purpose is liability protection for the company. If the company leaves out material facts or makes misleading statements, it can face securities law liability. Again, this is where attorneys and business people really need to balance. Okay, we need to disclose all material facts and we need to make all statements, but it's also a selling document at the same time. It's a difficult balancing act. However, it is there for protection for primarily the investors. So it behooves you to read the documents if you can. The interesting lesson for founders here is that many founders think that the prospectus is a marketing document, which it generally is, as I said earlier, but it's not completely. A good prospectus often spends dozens of pages discussing risks, such as dependence on key customers, competition, regulatory changes, cybersecurity risks, lack of profitability, and founder control. In fact, some of the most interesting sections are risk factors, management's discussion and analysis, business, executive compensation, and use of proceeds. These sections often reveal concerns and challenges that don't appear in press releases or investor presentations.